Yeah, this is Margaret Ann Windsor. I have to use the name Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married Childers. I hope you can see this. I'm putting this up, and it is very disturbing to me. My life has been, I was kidnapped. My father assassinated with character assassination. My mom just kind of swiped out of history. My mom married Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor, and she was queen when he was, well, they should have remained king and queen legally. I was kidnapped when I was born, 32, by my own Uncle George, the illegal George the Sixth. And I've told all this. Elizabeth's illegal. The Illuminati, the Freemasons, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Kennedy, Joe Kennedy, JFK actually have helped kidnap me. I hope you can and care enough to look at this. I have not received a penny, etc., from any of this. It it upsets me to know that it's all gone on and the pain and suffering me and my children have gone through, and some other people who, unless that happens to them, they seem to not care. And that gets back to the FBI letter that I put up today about that, about CIA director. Oh God, I've put so much up and everything now. I've forgotten his name. Oh, don't tell me I'm going to forget his name. It's on another sheet of paper. Keeper of the Secrets. He was CIA director. I didn't know it just as well as. Anyway, I put that up. I mean, there's been so much that's been hidden about MK Ultra, and he burned most of those files. They were shocked that they found some. It gets into, well, the Tesla files that I was writing about the mind control murders back in 76. I put all this up about my kidnapping on Facebook and YouTube, and it's based on me finding out who I am and about mind control murders and use of it by mind control hypnosis. It's done at a level you're not aware you're getting. And way back when I was finding out, it was done through ham sets, teaching you the Morse code at a low level, and you become a puppet. Your program, you don't even know that you're being programmed. They can, your decision making, they can make it for you. They can make you have heart attacks. They can cure heart attacks. They can do anything they want to. In other words, the medical field, if this were all told, excuse me, it's upsetting to me. You wouldn't need like the hospital. I meant to say that I worked for Urban Medical back in 73, 74. It was new. I was working there, payroll, payables, and inventory. And the last time I went back to Atlanta trying to find my children, this has been a few years ago, I went up to, well, I was trying to check on a book I had, my book and all that information letter from the FBI, that suddenly they took out of my box, which was paid for at the bank, and I don't know where it's at. Anyway, the hospital had moved up. It was across from the bank, I believe, on Windy Hill Road. And they moved it up, and the last time I was there, with me having written about cures for cancer, illnesses, and everything, can you believe this new hospital, Urban Medical, had moved up? They renamed it Cancer Research. They have had cures for cancer, for anything, since 1930 and maybe before, but the Tesla files. Now, I want to get back to it. You need to, if you don't YouTube it, you can get pretty good information there, but I just simply Googled it now. And when I had a letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of 79, my father's birthday's on the 23rd. I had a letter back from the investigation from William Harpeth, U.S. Attorney in Atlanta, and James Baker was assistant U.S. District Attorney. Ongoing investigation, national security involved. My husband and I talked and went down to FBI headquarters many times during 78, 79. Now and then, we went to all the news media. I didn't know the Hearst on the Atlanta Journal. We went to the TV station. Nobody would touch any of this. I didn't know about my being kidnapped, but that's the real reason they won't touch it. They'd have to tell what? The Illuminati, the Freemasons, this country, the Roosevelts, Rockefellers, and part of my own country, some there sold out, like Winston Churchill had an apartment in the White House with the Roosevelts, was furnished a limo. He sold my father out. Well, all but the citizens back then. I don't know that it's all. I don't mean that either. I don't know. But it was the citizens that came over here and tried to save me. And after a while, as far as I know, maybe they're still trying. But people forget, you know. And as they have it, my father was supposed to marry Wallace Simpson, the American spy. And Elizabeth has left it at that, knowing the truth about me. I'm, according to papers that were legal, I'm Victoria II the minute I was born. That's why they had to get rid of me then, on top of getting rid of my father. Now, the Tesla files, 1976, when I was trying to write about mind control murders, that you could cure an illness or create one, or make people commit suicide, and it is murder by mind control. And then you get into the motive. They wanted the motive of Mr. Paddock in the Vegas shootings and others, and they usually can go back and blame it on mental illness, which is a total lie. It's a scapegoat. And that, well, I'm not going to say anything else about that. It involves Martin Luther King and JFK. But anyway, let me get to this. The Tesla files were also about the Philadelphia experience. It was, and mind control used on patients or just people. That was on last night. I put this up if you want to go back and look at one of the YouTubes I put up. It was about the torture. It was Princeton University. It was the CIA director, keeper of the secrets, and why I have blanked his name out. I'll have to go try to find it before I put this. Well, it's on the YouTubes today, so you can find it. And I'm rambling, I realize, because I don't feel all that great, and I got so many problems. We're trying to live and hoping I find my children and they're alive and well. Anyway, all I did was Google. I didn't go back to the YouTube. And, okay, here's how it leaves it. The FBI, when I talked to them, they were cryptic. The FBI, that I don't know if I call them or they call me, but he said he was Michael Ken, special agent, which he wasn't, but he was FBI, because he used Michael Ken's name a lot. But I knew some of the FBI down there, and he was cryptic. He says, I'm going to have to leave you for a while. He said, this is Special Agent Michael Ken. He says, Keown. He says, I spelled that. Now, here's what he did. He said, I'm going to have to leave you for a while. All he did was step away from the phone. He came back and he says, I'm also Helms, Helms. And by the way, that's Richard Helms, the CIA director's name. So I did, it did come back to me. And I thought, do you think I can't spell Helms? But anyway, that's just part of this. And this involved the, okay, let me get back to this. The FBI and Donald Trump's uncle, John, husband's name John, and by the way, a lot of this happened May the 3rd, which is my husband's birthday, and there's a lot that I don't understand about him after I got into all this, and I was almost killed down the April Fool Day of 80. But anyway, I'm just going to read this that I just Googled. On May the 3rd, 2018, the FBI have finally declassified. They were supposed to have stole the files, and so was John George Trump, uncle to President Trump. Okay, declassified his files on Nikola Tesla, but questions remain according to declassified file. John Trump questions. Okay, and I didn't put the rest of it down. It's important. You need to read about the files, all about the Philadelphia experience, all that. There's more. These particle beam. There's so much in there that happened after 1943. After Tesla found dead in 1943 in New York hotel room, representatives of the U.S. government office, Alien Properties, he was an American citizen, seized many documents relating to the brilliant and prolific life of the 86-year-old man. John Trump, head of research, MIT. It goes on to say what shocked me when I read this part. It talks about he was trying to say that these things weren't true, that Tesla had invented and all this. Well, they're very true. Oh, yes, they are. And that was a blatant lie. Blatant lie. You should go back and last night on Coast to Coast, I put this up. It's one of the few people in the media that tell the truth. This gentleman was on there. His last name's Davis. And somehow you should get a hold of the first 3 hours of this morning's, really, when it was Eastern Standard Time, 1 until 3 o'clock on George Norrie's Coast to Coast. This man knows what he was talking about. He was part of mind control, where they, the CIA and all that. This is part of what I've been writing about, and part about the Tesla files. He knew so much, and he's legit. He's even made movies and knows all about all this. But anyway, the fact that President Trump's uncle would have denied, I don't understand it, because I think Trump is a good man. I hope he is. Anyway, I looked up here, and so much of it after I read over. That's my husband's birthday, May the 3rd, 2018. Remember, the FBI sent me the letter, Ongoing Investigation, National Security Involved, June the 23rd of 79. I thought it was about the book, and I ended up finding out about my kidnapping when I was flown out to Larry Flint's in October twice of 83 in the campaign to replace U.S. Congressman Dr. Larry McDonald, who was a case in my book, and man, they went after me, and he was supposedly on that KAL that went down the ocean with 260 aboard, and Richard Nixon was on that flight, and he was taken off just before the plane left and went down. Now, then I've been told that Larry McDonald wasn't even on it, just supposed to be. So I was trying to tell something else here, but the letter from the FBI was on my father's birthday, the 23rd, and here, this past May the 3rd, which is my husband's birthday, the FBI had finally declassified its files on Nikola Tesla, but questions remain. According to, and I gotta go, the phone's ringing, but I want to take